Welcome to Spoofers, the podcast where we talk about random things.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of Spoofers Lounge. I'm your host, Michael Colaluca, and I have a pretty special guest here today. Kind of I guess you could say he is a misplaced Texan in the frozen tundra up north, Christian Kinnison. Christian, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, man. Do you remember when we talked about douchebags and starting podcasts? No, but yeah.
But you know what? It's a gift that I plan on sharing with the world.
Yeah, do you guys start growing a ponytail too?
I am actually, but I'm actually going so bald right now that it's just gonna look like a skullet, just really, I'm getting so thin at the top, just have the skullet flowing.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you polish it every day.
I mean, it's gonna be like a nice greasy Jerry curl by the time I get done with it, but it's so
Yeah.
I think it looked pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we could always get you a wig. I mean, that's not the issue. Especially when you start doing like live on video, we gotta get you a wig.
They're right.
Like
I
an
could see that.
Afro man wig.
I could see that. I mean, I think like the Jerry curl is something that hasn't been around long. I mean, you see everybody now with a mullet. And you don't see anybody with the Jerry curl. Like, we're talking Soul Glow Jerry curl.
Yeah. That's the
You
one
don't
you'd
see it
walk into
anymore.
like a 1970 bar with just a stash and you'd be good
Uh,
to go.
you know, I mean, you see like all like the firemen and the police officers with these burly mustache. But I mean, it almost looks like they're trying to bring back, I'm going to say like, I'm just going to go ahead and say like a 1980s softcore porno. They're trying to bring that back, but it just
I
ain't the
had going
same.
on. Yeah,
Do I
well,
not?
that's what I had going on. I wanted to be Farvo from Super Troopers.
I mean, there's no reason why not to be far from Super Troopers. I mean, besides, he'd like the shenanigans.
I didn't watch that movie till the other day, so
Oh man, great movie, great,
well,
absolutely great
I
movie.
never stayed at your house long enough to watch cool movies.
You know what? That's a sad part. I mean, there is no shortage of great movies around here.
There's not. But also, we would party till 2 a.m. and then be like, "Oh crap, we have to go to where are you?" Shit.
All right, man. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna kind of go here because I know I talked about how you were a misplaced Texan right now, living in Montana, and I know you have a pretty good little following around here, with your racing and the family and whatnot. And we were just kind of wondering, like, what made this guy move all the way up to this frozen tundra in Montana?
You know what made me move is I needed something different. At some point, the joke's always you got to leave the nest at some point, and a good opportunity arose, and there's just a good chance to just get away for a little while. I mean, it's not going to be a forever thing, but I've enjoyed it because we get 4 true seasons, and today it was 86 degrees and sunny, so it was really nice.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I can't. What do you guys have for weather today?
Oh gosh, actually, I want to say whenever I went to lunch, it was reading that it was right at 98 degrees, and the heat index was right around 108, 109, something like that.
That just sounds terrible,
It
actually.
was. It actually was terrible. I cried twice actually. Yes, sir. Yeah, it was. But I will say that you guys have so much better scenery than what we have.
Yeah, there's 9 months of the year. It's beautiful. It's
Right.
magnificent. So 3 months of -30, you got to get through, and there's no exaggeration on it. It just feels terrible because you have like 60-degree Christmas and night, and we don't. So down there for Christmas, it was nice.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we will never shovel snow here in the DFW or to get out of our driveways.
Sunny.
We will. I mean, the whole state will just shut. Yeah, I mean, this whole state just shuts down. You say the word ice, and the whole world, in Texas at least, is just shut down. Everybody stays home, and you just buy every single deal of bottled water and toilet paper that you can find.
That and milk and bread.
Yes, yes, and eggs, because milk
Yeah.
and eggs never go bad.
And we're in a financial crisis, but we're gonna buy up all the expensive stuff.
That's right. Based on everyone else, I'm gonna make sure that I have 6, cases of water to last me through this 8-hour ice storm.
I would like on record, I've only been in Montana now 2.5 years. I haven't like lived up there the last 10, in case anybody's listening to that. And it hasn't been too bad. Apparently, these have been the most mild winters that they can recall. I'm not really excited for what's next. If we actually get a true winter, I might scare myself straight and move back home.
Okay. I mean, I mean, but it is just so beautiful there. Like, isn't there a lake up there, or some? It's a national park lake, something like that, and it actually has all the different colored rocks. That's up in Montana, correct?
Yeah, I haven't made it there because I race so much. And then by the time I can get to it, it's got snow everywhere. But between the park and the hot springs, every town can be a touring destination. Yeah, it's actually each town's got its own quirks, I guess we'll call it. So like we're in Billings, Montana, and the only thing good about Billings is meth. You have a meth
Okay,
addiction, you have a meth addiction or a gambling addiction, you're in the right place.
copy that.
But like the town next to us in Shepherd, they've got a good feedlot where they'll actually like you get to pick your cow, essentially. You can go out, yeah, you can go pick out little Susie out there in the field in the Shepherd feedlot, and you could go home with said Susie,
Oh, but
all cut up and ready to go. You know.
yeah, that's different for sure.
Yeah, and then the other town next to it is Laurel, and they consider that God's country for some reason. And the only thing that's good about Laurel is the ice cream store.
But, I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with a good thing of ice cream, man. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I wake up sometimes, I'm like, I would love a bowl of ice cream, you know?
Yeah,
See,
and
when you get
they
older, you get that way, like, you see all the old timers with all this ice cream, all the time, like, "Hey, we're gonna go so and so get ice cream," As a kid, I didn't appreciate it, but now I'm like, I really enjoy some good ice cream, you know?
and we have adult money, so you can just go buy the ice cream.
Yes. Yeah, like,
It's not like we're
I
having to beg somebody to go get it. We can actually just go get it.
absolutely. Yeah, like, you get it, and you have, as you say, adult money, so I have 12 total dollars, and I'm gonna get me a root beer float, and by cracky, I'll be damned if someone tells me I can't.
Up 11.98, and then you're
That's right, so that 2 cents leaves me to get gas for the rest of the week at work, so that grown-up
you
decisions.
can ride a motorcycle still, right? I mean, that should get you at least one day's worth.
That is very true, that's why I have said motorcycles, just so I can, make some noises and, make that 2 cents after my ice cream, or my root beer float, we can make it last for all week.
You get 2 cents worth of gas. I'm gonna give him a 10. Like, let's fill your $10 worth up here.
But, that's generous. So I stay in Waxahachie, so anytime I'll let you know, okay?
I will make sure to come past through. Or you know what? We do Zelle quite a bit. So I'll Zelle you. You don't care
Okay,
about 2 cents, I'll Zelle you.
okay, alright,
After
that is much appreciated. Do what now? Copy that. She'll be like, "No, this is actually I know where it's gonna go to, and I refuse it, and he's gonna have to actually walk to work now."
Yeah, I might just do it while we're on this podcast and just see what she does.
Alright. So, alright, so you're talking about racing, and people see C Man Racing, LLC, whenever Christian goes to the racetrack. Man, and I'm sure that, some people do know the story, but how did you get started in racing? Because I know that your dad was not a racer from what I've talked to about. So was it this, going way back when, how did Christian get to where he was just like, "Hey, I'm gonna start racing."
So I started racing. So I met a kid when I was 6 years old, I want to say. His name's Tony Dowd, and I met him on the school bus going to school. And more or less, he was wearing his racing shirt that day. As a curious 6 year old, I was like, hell yeah, what is this about? And got to know him that way, which was pretty cool. And then it took my parents 3 years to take me to a racetrack. So this would have been 2006 by the
Okay,
time
so
they
9 years
finally
old, you're
go.
going to your first race, right?
Yep, by 9 years old. going to my first race, and Tony and his dad, Tom, were gracious enough to let me try driving one of the go-karts about 2, 3 months later, and I was hooked. And then we raced a little bit of that, and by my 10th birthday, I had got my first go-kart, and that was now 19 years ago.
Okay. So you get your first go-kart, and you have your dad who's obviously more than willing to help you do everything. And he's just so you guys go he's not a racer, and Christian is just pretty much just, "But I'm just gonna hit the gas and turn left and hope for the best."
Yeah, well, actually, to be truthful, I had a problem with riding the brakes at first, so they disconnected the brakes,
Okay.
which later hurt us in the end. But I had a problem with riding the brakes quite a bit, and now so that's how that went. But yeah, so my dad was a big football, baseball guy. I played baseball. So in between that 3-year gap of not going to the racetrack, I played baseball, and I was actually all right. I wasn't the best. I wasn't no pro or by any means at the age of 8, but it'd been a lot of fun to try to stick with it. Probably paid a little bit more, but that's what I did, and that's kind of what my dad did. My dad played football through high school and a little bit of college, and so that's kind of the route he was wanting to go. And lo and behold, I guess I was adopted at some point because I like to go fast and left and still do it to this day. So
Right on. Right on.
and
So so I'm gonna say, so you got the go-karts, and then after that, I mean, what happened after that? We know I'm gonna assume we won a few races, we got super popular, and we moved up, right?
that's what they say, right? So we would win on average 2, 3 times a weekend in the go kart stuff, and we moved up to the micro sprints. And I myself got a rude, humbling awakening of now we're in the big boy stuff, and pretty much got my butt kicked. But we had a lot of success. We did really well. My dad, for cool as he is, for not everybody that knows my dad, he's not interested in racing by any means. He'll support me, but if I'm not racing, like, "Hey, we go after racing?" It's the easiest no he'll say all day long.
Okay. Alright.
The better chance at taking him to try whiskey, which he doesn't drink at all. They only watching races.
Okay.
But he was willing to spend the money. We did it right. We had a lot of traveling fun. I got to go um, live in Oklahoma for a while, just in between periods, and it was a lot of fun. And then we did, I think, 5 years of micro, I want to say, and then after that, it just kind of became a cost-effective deal per se, just because those things were getting super expensive, and a sprint car at home was so much cheaper. And so after that 5-year transition, he helped me build my sprint car, and after that, he kinda handed me the keys. He goes, "You're gonna be on your own for the most part." He gave me the option to pay for college at the North Texas University
Right.
or pay for my racing for the next 4 years, and I chose college.
Okay. Okay. I mean, that's a smarter choice, I mean, plus, the mean green, that's, I'm sorry,
That's our pride and
I'm
joy
gonna bleed
there.
the mean green till I die.
That we have to, regardless of how bad our football team does.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I mean, and plus you gotta think, we named our entire football program after one guy, Mean Joe Green. It's sad, but it's impressive at the same time because that is our claim to fame. One guy from the '80s, Mean Joe Green.
Could you imagine if they named it, like, Price Street or something? Something to do with Price Street?
Rip Rocks, yeah, we can call it the North Texas Rip Rocks, or Lose, Lucky Lose.
Or the North Texas Crooked Crust or something.
Oh, right, the Pita Pit.
Oh, the pita pit. V You're bringing back a bunch of memories there. I haven't been there. Every time I go to Texas, I try to go to Price Street just because I go to Denton just to see some family and whatnot, and it's so crazy to me that Price Street is what it is, and it,
And it has changed I know whenever I went to school there, it's changed so much just because, man, oh my gosh, it doesn't sound good by any means, but I remember being in the language building, Spanish classes going off, and you're right across the street from Fry. It's Tuesday, and you start seeing the signs at Rip Rocks for 2.99, burger, fries, and a tall boy PBR. And and that's I want to say Rip Rocks opened at 10:30. Spanish started at 10. So I would be in class for 30 minutes and I'd be like, huh, this is rather boring. I'm going to go ahead and put my $2 or actually after tax, it was $3.24. I'm going to go put this money to good use and I'm going to go have me a burger, fries, and a tall boy right now. And 10:30 would hit, class is going on. I'd put my laptop in my backpack and not even make eye contact and just hit the door.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, what was the place behind Crooked Trap? I can't remember now, but or was it Lucky Lead? Somebody had like a grilled cheese special similar to what you did, and it was a tall boy PBR, shot of Jim Beam, grilled cheese and fries for like $6. It was the ideal, and I did the same thing. Had Spanish at the language building, would go right before, and man, it was a good time.
Let's see. So Crooked Crust is right there on the corner. So right behind that, that would actually be Rip Rocks.
So yeah, it was Rip Rock then. Because I
Yes. Yeah.
remember
Because
always
across
looking
the
at when my
street was
professor
Lou's.
was showing up, and I tried to step up to my professor, so I would show up when they showed up.
Okay. Right.
And then there at the end, I had the entire class that was of drinking age and the professor hanging out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well,
That
that's
is,
how we passed Spanish. We had to do what we had to do.
yeah, right. Well, heck, fast forward for me, I'm in my senior year of college and I'm taking the history of aviation. And I can't remember the professor's name. He was super old, but he actually flew with Sully. They actually made a movie from Sully. And that was really neat. And, I got to hear all kinds of flight stories with him and whatnot. But I remember last test I'm taking in college, he hands out the finals and he's like, "Hey, I'm handing this out. I'm leaving. You can put this on the desk. I'm gonna have a TA come get this at the end of class. I forget what bar he went to. He's like, I'm going to a bar, and if you guys want to join me, you can buy me a beer." And like hell, I was the first one done. I met him. Man, it was the one on the corner. It was oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a super fancy bar. Had the pool table upstairs, had like a little balcony, and
Oh,
I can't remember the name, but I remember before they
yeah.
renovated, it was a super, super dirty, grungy bar. Uh, but I remember going there
Public
and
house.
just do what now?
Was it public house?
Public house, yes, public house. Yeah, because they had the pool table upstairs and had the overview. We can actually look over Fry Street and man, it was but they redid that right before, I graduated. And I remember being at it with the professor, and he's just telling me all these stories, like whenever he was in Vietnam, being a fighter pilot, and he did some other stuff, did a lot of recon in North Korea, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, this is awesome," and this dude, he's super old. Man, I wish I could remember his name, but man, he was such a cool guy, but that was the only time I actually had a beverage with the professor, and what was sad is that, like, I was the only one from the class that showed to listen to this guy, and oh, yeah, I'm the only one there. I bet you I talked to the dude for 3 hours, and before he's just, he calls his wife to come pick him up because by then, I'd done bought him at least 4 or 5 beers, and calls his wife to come pick him up, and I shook his hand, he told me, "Good luck, Mr. Kolaluka," and out the door he went.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, that's kinda cool because he probably figured, "Hey, the hell with this, I'm done anyways."
Yeah. If only our meeting story was just that cool.
Right.
But actually, I mean, technically over the years, it kind of turned into that, but I guess
Right.
that's kind of what I forgot we were talking racing. So,
Yeah, yeah, we're talking about racing. Okay, so college, sprint car,
yeah,
now what's going on now? So, okay, so you're running your sprint car here locally, correct?
for locally as can be at that point. So, first year of college, trying to get my life together. I still don't have it together. I want that on record, but so that was 2017 when I got in the sprint car. So when did you get yours then? 2018?
I started racing my sprint car in 2019.
2019. Dang. So there was 2 years in there. I didn't even know you, which sucks because it'd have been cool to know you.
Oh, yeah, because I mean, you would have had me and, Corey and John not
Yep.
having any idea what the hell is even going on. We just know that, hey, there's a really big tire and there's a really big wing right here, and we're gonna figure it out.
Dang straight. So 2017, I did about 10 races. So I hurt the engine pretty early on and kind of went through the summer, worked my butt off. My dad thankfully paid to have their motor repaired because I was working for him at the time. And so we finished the year out there. And in 2018, we hit it hard. In 2018, I think we did a bunch of races. We had a lot of success. I got 2 wins out of the year. I got to party like a rock star in Knoxville, which was cool with my win there. And
Heck yeah.
uh, unfortunately, it wasn't when I met T. That would have been so much cooler now that I think about it. I really thought it was 2018.
No, no,
Um,
no. 2018, that's when we got out of the we were 100% out of drag racing, and 19 is like, man, it'd be a good idea to go dirt track racing.
yeah, well, that wasn't a great idea. Now knowing
Was
what we know,
knowing what we know now, we'll call it a fun adventure.
it was a good midlife crisis.
Yes,
Enjoy the
yes,
last half of your years.
yes. But
Um,
I remember the time that I met you. I remember we were in Waco, and I obviously we hit, 2019. We have no idea what we're doing at all. Go there, we kick ass in a heat race, and we start pole. No business starting pole in Waco, with the TSS, and
in your defense, you had no shouldn't have been starting pole at any time up
no,
until
I
your
should not
lap.
have. No, absolutely not. But here I am starting pole, and I want to say by then it might have been my fourth race ever, and we're starting pole, and we jump out there, we're kicking ass for like 2 laps, and I loop it right. I spin out right in front of the whole field, and I just see every single person bottlenecked coming straight at me, and my heart just stopped, and I'm just like, "Oh, this is how it ends." And because I don't know anything, I don't think I know. It's like, "Oh my god, I see a lot of cars coming at me very fast, and I'm pointing in the wrong direction on a one-way." And here I am just like, "Okay," and then sure enough, the very last car that goes by me smacks my front axle, and we're done. And I remember going back to the pit, and me and, all the guys were looking at it, and we're just like, "Jesus, this thing is all tore up now." And you show up and I remember your exact words, you're like, "Are you gonna fix it or are you just gonna be a bitch?" I'm like, "Well, I guess I'm gonna fix it." Like, "Yeah, we gotta go race at Kinnison tomorrow." Yeah. Yeah, I was like, of course I'm like, "Of course I'm gonna fix it," but, like, at the time, you're like, "Man, this sucks," Like, "Well, you better get after it because we gotta race tomorrow." I'm like, "Huh, I guess you're right."
Well,
So, go
convenient how
home.
that was.
Do what now?
Yep. So I was trying to find like almost the exact date to remember it. I took some photos from that night or whatever the case may be, but man, it was funny. We were all just standing there. You were looking at your back front end like it was a car. Like, oh man, it's gonna take a couple weeks. Just like, dude, go to Smiley's in Kennedale in the morning. Go talk to Sally. Tell me you need this, this, and this, and you'll be ready to go by the afternoon.
And that's what
Um,
happened. And what was crazy, like, when I bought the car from Russell, I already had all the parts anyways. I just had to go get them out of the garage. And so we put it together and we have no idea how they set this front end up at all. And we were like, "Hey, all these bars, they look okay." We just unbolt one, bolt it in, and we're going, "Man, let's hope for the best." And I remember we went out to Kennedale, and that's when I actually got your number after the race because I made the feature, did not start pole, had an awful heat race, had to start do the B, and I had to I go from the B main, made it to the feature, and as I'm going through, I get a guy, guy's leading, tire hops me, knocks my wing off, does all the kinds of wild stuff, and I remember I was hot and oh, that fella, he was going to die that day, but for some reason, there's people that told me that I shouldn't go do that.
I told you not to, dude. He was 2 trailers down. He's just as big as you. And I mean, it'd have been a good fight, but I mean, it was only your second race. There's no need to get banned from sanctioning bodies and racetrack 2 races in. I mean, that'd be a record.
That would be a record, and, it'd be a talking point on social media for sure.
Well, the best part is now that I know Corey, who is helping you, yeah, you guys would have won easily. and it was right in the city of Kinderdale. They probably would have turned the eye the other way, you know?
Right, right. Now, I will say that we probably
Not to
were
name drop anybody, but it'd have been a pretty good fight.
right. I mean, I will say that we my crew probably was the most interesting crew that's probably ever shown up around the dirt track, at least looking wise.
Well, now, for sure. Now that
Yeah.
everybody knows the little knob is.
Right, right. But I was just like, "Man, that is a"
Then, Little Rock.
yes, yes, insert Little Rob for sure.
Yeah.
And now actually it's done got promoted to Dirty Rob and the Boys. She's done upgraded.
Dirty Rob and the boys.
Yes, yes.
Yep,
Alright, man,
that's
so
one
we
of my,
go
Okunichi.
so we go and we're leaving, so it's like, okay, we got this, you spent a few years running the 305s, and then now, obviously, it's time to upgrade.
It is time to upgrade. We upgraded about the same time, didn't we?
I believe you might have beat me a year.
And a Bravo. I mean, but you built yours. I was gracious enough to get to the couple engines and go racing. You guys actually spent the time, built yours, made it look good. And yeah, it
That
was
is
fun to
correct.
upgrade and started chasing the 360 stuff. Man, I got my ass kicked quite a bit. I
Those
still
guys are
do.
good.
Don't get me wrong. But
Those
it,
guys are good. I mean, when you start racing those National Tour boys, they clock in to go to work whenever they show up to the track, whereas,
uh,
me and you, we go there and, like, of course, we're going there. We got the mindset, "Hey, we're gonna go win this thing," we're gonna be as good as we can, but it's a different mindset of, "That isn't my 9 to 5." These guys show up, they got to do good so they can feed their family on Monday, whereas we are just going and saying, "Hey, I wanna go see if I can take some money from this national tour," and
you know,
it doesn't always work out that way.
it doesn't. But thankfully, I mean, we weren't menaces to society that way, but like we definitely got our ass kicked. So
Oh, yes. I at the end of my dirt track career, I got my ass beat so bad I sold everything because I was like, "I can compete at this level, and I'm done."
what do you mean dirt track career? You still have a chance.
Oh, I mean, there's a little car that,
What if Joe Blow in Montana calls you and like, hey, come run this race, you know? You gonna back down
we'll
from a challenge?
we'll call it a case by case basis, we'll respectfully call it that. So,
Until it's over.
no, I ain't gonna say the whole thing is over. Maybe if someone did something one day, we'll see. We can talk about it. But as of right now, there is not going to be a sprint car in this stable anytime soon.
No, probably a good idea. With the
Yeah,
bang bangs you have, you guys are having a lot more fun with that.
fun factor through the roof in one of these cars. The intensity factor is at the bottom. I want to say the intensity is about the same as if you're going to go to Celebration Station and drive some go karts. But
Yep.
the fun factor through the roof.
And the best part is like there's the guy next to you could have like all the intensity and no fun, and you would never know.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm just saying, go from driving something that's wicked fast. It's like you're jumping on a bull. It wants to kick you off. It wants to do everything it can to, I'm jumping in this car that probably this 16-year-old girl drove it and wrecked it, and their parents sold it on Facebook for $400 because it was an eyesore and their HOA made to get rid of it.
That or some guy drove it 300,000 miles and put that odometer.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, it's all, yeah, absolutely.
Did you did you see they got like fake noses for your cars now? I didn't know that till today.
I saw something like that, but I realized that nose was going to cost more than what I spent for the entire car. So I was like, that's a hard pass on that one.
We had somebody up here get it, and it looks pretty cool. Makes it look like a street stop. But
It
man,
does.
it got no airflow. It's food overheated. I felt so bad for. We had
They
the
look
coolest
super
factor
cool.
going on. Oh yeah.
Super cool looking, but they heck, I mean, I wanna say after, Little Rob destroyed her front bumper because people were in her way, I found a bumper and it still had the license plate on it, I never took it off. I was like, "You know what? We're gonna see if we need to drive this home one day, we're just gonna leave the license plate on it and just go."
Which I'm surprised there should be a drive your car to the racetrack class. Drive your car to the
Absolutely.
racetrack, race it, drive it home.
Absolutely. And we started going racing at this one track called in Riceville. and it's owned by the Lions Club, and it is the most fun, most wild thing ever, but I swear to God, it is a real life Weaver Valley. Like, you see some stuff and you're like, "Oh, this safety takes a backseat to fun over there." And then them boys, they get down and it's a shindig, and I absolutely
That's
love
all it
it.
should be. That's how it
Oh,
should
man.
be.
I mean, you think of, you know, backwoods, fairground, dirt track. This is man, my God, this is the place right here.
The true definition of what a redneck was gonna be. That everybody
Yes.
thinks when we drive race cars, this is what they're
I
gonna
mean,
think, and that's what they're gonna get.
and what's wild is that I'll be walking around and, man, I'll get some dirty looks. Some people are looking at me like, "Man, I don't know if that's a terrorist or a Mexican, but we're gonna eyeball him for a minute," you know? Something ain't right with that feller.
Well, you're supposed to go with the fisherman story. You forget that.
That yeah. Yeah, you know.
You could fool kids. I mean, you fooled my mom for goodness sake. I said
Yeah,
you could
I
fool
mean,
anybody.
you know, it's yeah, I guess you could say that.
Shit, just go with that. Just put fishing
Oh,
poles in the back of your truck or something.
that's right. Damn right. Alright, man, so now we're going to so now you're up
No,
for
no, no.
Montana, right?
Disclose it. Yeah, you gotta get the disclosure at least.
Oh, no, you know, we're gonna leave that we can leave that one open-ended for the next one. How's that sound?
Fine.
Alright. Sorry, man, so
What was your question? What you got?
alright, man, so we're done. We're now you're up living in Montana, correct? We're a couple years past this, and you're running the 360 sprint car up there, correct?
Yeah.
And how I mean, I'll say, like, is the intensity factor any different than what the guys are down here? Because I would know the population is so much lower in that area compared to the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
To be completely honest with you, so in the Texas region, whenever we race, they can bear with you and I, and the intensity factor was up just because the national tour guys would cherry. I don't want to use cherry pick as the word, but it was something similar, right? So they were using that as their Wednesday night out paycheck per se. I mean, that's the only reason that was intense. Um, but there is a lot of money here in Montana, and I want to say it's the hardest region to rate.
Okay, I can see that.
So, like as an example here, the only reason I think that the national tour make that long stint to Montana and back, it is because of how stiff our competition is.
Okay.
We've got a guy out of Canada, his name's Kelly Miller, and he's really good. And this is what he does full time, just race sprint cars, and he's really good at what he does. He spent a lot of time with his car over the winter and trying to figure it out. And even though our season's 6 months long, it's the hardest 6 month anybody will ever race. So
Yeah,
we race
okay.
about every other week, if not every week, depending on the time frame. So like we've got a 15,000 to win show August 23rd. And from there on, we race till the end of September. Every week, 2 nights a week. So,
Man, that's a schedule right that's a lot of work.
it's gonna be I'm excited. I think we'll have a pretty good shot at least making the show, if not a top 10, at
Yeah.
both places that the national tour is at here. So, I'm pretty excited.
Heck yeah.
Uh, my biggest thing right now is, we gotta get more laps. These national tour guys, they race from February and November, and by the time they get here, they'll do more races in a full season than we do at all, and their
Oh, for
season's
sure.
never close to being over. And so if we could, you know, I think get to a point where we can go race halfway through the year, and or even like at the beginning of the year, go down to Texas for a little bit and try our best at what we can do down there, and try to get the season going. So we race our season up here, and maybe at the end of the year try to take the national tour a little bit. I think would be good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that'd be fun.
From time and everything. Yeah, it'd be fun.
Get to
I
drive.
think Yeah, get to drive more, like you said, that's what I was gonna say, and I think we would I think it would help our program out quite a bit, but I mean, obviously, like you said earlier, this is our not we still have a 9 to 5, and then we go racing for fun versus the guys that is their 9 to 5, and you just gotta play it right and play the cards right and maybe make a few shows here and there, but we'll see. maybe one day, but for now, I think we as a it's called the frontier region. I think we as a frontier region have a pretty good shot taking home that 15 grand from the national tour guys. So the
Heck
track
yeah.
we have up here races. It's a 3/8 mile, but it races like a half mile. So it's a lot of
Okay, so pretty
fun.
fast.
Yeah. So I mean, I riv the same gear that I would at like the old Devil's Bowl. That was more of like a paperclip style. Ours is more of like an oval and it carries a lot of momentum. And I mean, we'll reach some pretty fast speeds, and like I said, it's a lot of fun. And I granted the national tour guys they race all the time, so they kind of know what they're doing. But I think our region up here got a pretty good shot this year as far as taking home that money. So I'm pretty excited to see what happens.
Heck yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, okay, so now I know, besides racing, you have started a, if you can call it a battery empire in Montana, correct?
You don't have to go that far.
Not running. I mean, Performance Battery Solutions is the name of it, correct?
Correct.
And I mean, everything that I've heard about is that, man, this, even if you want to be modest and not call it a battery empire, I understand. But pretty much you're the go-to guy in the state of Montana for batteries. Is that correct?
That's what I'd like to say. That's what I'd like to say, but no, it actually the business started out of just a need for tire money. I'll call it. So there's a lot of businesses here in town that wouldn't get their used batteries picked up. And so me each used battery is worth about $10. And I had a company here in town that worked with me quite a bit and they were pretty cool. Like, yeah, I mean, a pallet of batteries was worth about a tire. So during my off time, during my previous endeavor, I would go pick up batteries and that's how I'd buy tires. So I'd do about 2 pallets a day on my off day. I'd get 2 tires out of it. And then I found out some of those batteries were still good. I was like, oh, I could probably sell them for, whatever and started making a little bit more money. And then it kind of came to a point of somebody wants a new battery. What's your price on a new battery? And I was like, well, let me see what I could put together. And then now I'm almost 2 years into this deal. And now we've got the biggest mine here in Montana. And we've got some great companies between Montana, Wyoming, South, and North Dakota, and make it a lot of fun. So, granted, my weeks are busy, especially during the winter, but it's not an empire. I wish it was, because then I would maybe enjoy life. Maybe I could make those racing trips to come November or February.
Totally understand that.
But it's been a lot of fun and definitely a business I never thought I'd be into. But it's one of those necessity need businesses, and it's like toilet paper. Everything needs toilet paper, and anybody that's got a vehicle is eventually going to need a battery. So,
Oh, for sure. I mean, heck, you got to think about it. Like, people, most people that, oh gosh, I'm going to say that, okay, say that that drive a vehicle. Most people, they don't even think about a battery until it's dead. And then they're like, oh my God, the world is just over. And here comes Performance Battery just saying, hey, I got a battery. I'll sell you. Because I would
right.
imagine in
I
Montana,
feel
it gets so cold, they just pop out all the time. Whereas the Texas heat's what normally does it all here.
well. I mean, we've got the same heat that'll do it too. So we're almost in another busy season for that. And my biggest thing that helps me, I'm not a big corporation. By the time a battery hit my hand, it's only me. You don't go through 5 sets of hands. And just this morning, as an example, guy was going to be late for work. We jumped his battery off and I changed it at his place of work. So I kind of get that advantage of getting to do stuff like that. And some like you said, the world's over. And of course, it's the morning they woke up late, the morning they're running behind, and you're
Absolutely.
trying to help them out as best you can. And thankfully, I got to do that for that customer this morning. And I mean, thankfully, they worked 10 minutes down the road. I was going to change it right there. It's like, dude, I'm late for work. Is there any way we could? And not, he wasn't a rude person about it. It wasn't, don't speed this up by any means. But I was like, let's jump you off when you get to work. I'll just change it there. It's no big deal. And that's what we did. So And then they gave me a $20 tip, and that's what bought the beer I'm drinking now.
Copy that. But, I mean, I would probably say, most people like that, they're not gonna be their intentions are to be rude. You just got someone that is just they're stressed out, and then here you are trying to provide a solution, and they don't know how to handle it.
Yeah. Nobody liked the nice guy.
Well, I ain't gonna say no one doesn't like the nice guy. It's just, oh, like, think about whenever your computer doesn't work and you call Habib in India, and your frustration isn't towards Habib, but your frustration is towards your computer not working. Then the second frustration could be towards, hey, why am I not talking to an English speaking American? But that's another story. That's a whole nother podcast. That's a whole nother podcast for a different day. And oh my god, I don't have enough time for that one. But yeah, but same thing. You call tech support, whatever. Oh my gosh, this ain't working. My phone isn't working. Fix my damn phone, and hey, you're not mad at the person. You're just mad at that. Hey, my stuff ain't working.
Yeah, people are never mad about what they're really mad about, for
Correct.
sure.
You're just the front guy.
Yep.
So,
Well,
but so I mean that's kind of a long way. So you start a business to saying, hey, I'm going to do this, going to make some side money so I can do my hobbies, and before long it just kind of took off.
for long, it kinda took off, so unfortunately, now I don't get going to Texas quite a bit, but now at least when I go down there, I can at least buy a round of drinks or at the Real Fort Brewery, 'cause that's where we
Absolutely.
love to go.
Yeah, because
And
if you think about it, gosh, man, we have me and we've spent a lot of time at Railport.
I think there's at one point we have to declare residency, and I think we were almost to that point before I left.
We were there every single Thursday, and
Agree.
I mean, if you remember, Rob and I we were talking about this not the other day that we would show up and nobody would even talk to us. It was just us sitting at a table, just pretty much just bullshitting, because Thursday that's our time off. We're going racing Saturday, right? And
Well, and just whatever conversation it was of the week, I guess, per se.
yeah, pretty much, we go there, we're shooting the breeze. Didn't know a single person, and then before long, I remember we pulled up one day, and you were talking to someone at a table, and we were like, "Oh, Christian met a friend," and it was Germany, and we were like, "Oh, Christian met a friend," and then, they threw a name drop there. It was Germany, and we were like, "Oh, wow, Christian met a friend," 'cause, we don't talk to anybody, we're the guys in the corner that no one ever talks to, and it was like after that, every single person would come up and start talking to us, like, also, we're Mr. Popular, this or whatever. We're like, "Oh my god,"
Yeah.
like this,
We're
you know
literally fighting on a map at that point.
I mean, heck, you show up there now, they roll out the red carpet for you.
Well, no, no, no. They do that for you every week. Don't
No,
mess
I ain't
that.
gonna say that, maybe they're a little, more generous since I use the studio in the back for this podcast, which isn't actually the first remote one we've ever done, since you don't live right down the road here, so this is the first remote one we've
You
ever
know,
done, but
well, maybe at Christmas time we'll do another one and go into the topics you really want to.
that's
What
totally
drank my
that's
this
totally
segment?
fine.
But yeah, the Railport, man. That was our. When did you finally invite me out to go drinking there? 'Cause I lived in Denton.
Yes, you lived
I
that
don't have to
sorry, that was
drive.
also during the 2019 year, because I remember we went oh gosh, we were at Railport on a Thursday, and you were going to go race at Wichita Falls the next day on a Friday,
That's
and we weren't gonna
right.
go because we were gonna go race TMS, and we finally figured our car, and we were really, really fast, and you were like, "Man, you know what? You should just come up here to Wichita Falls and come race with us and show us how it's done," and I get put into a heat race with you, and before long,
The weekend.
that sure was, that was the same weekend, yes. So, we go to even to get every single person told me, "No, don't go, just save it for TMS the next week, everything's gonna be fine." I'm going, "Nah, we're gonna win one of these before it's all said and done." And they're like, "Alright, whatever, let's go get this done." And I remember talking to the wife, Robin, and I said, "Hey," it was that afternoon, I was like, "Hey, we're gonna go to Wichita Falls," and she's like, "This is such a bad idea, you should not do that." And I remember she was working at the hospital, and I sent her I forget what text I sent her, but she didn't ever respond. Call my buddy, "Hey, man, let's load this up, we're leaving." So we loaded up, leaving, and then as you know, I get put to the same heat race as you. I'm coming down the back straightaway, and all of a sudden, I go to get off the throttle. It does I feel no throttle pedal, it is stuck to the floor, and into the wall we go, and that's the first time I went flipping, and I remember hanging upside down. Yes, it was the same week, and I remember hanging upside down, and I didn't care that I crashed, flipped back. I hit the wall pretty hard. I don't care about any of that. I remember hanging upside down and just being, "Robin is about to be so mad at me right now." And that's the only thing I cared about. Cars hanging from off the hook, swinging all the way back. I'm sitting on the back of the wrecker. The ride is Shane, drop it, and all the I mean, my head's just rattled, ears ringing. Obviously, had a concussion. Got to drive 2 hours back home now, and the only thing I remember is I am in deep shit when
Get a
I get home
bomb.
because she just specifically told me how bad of an idea this is and how she does not want to do it.
No, I was the reason.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you were 100% the reason. And if you ever, next time you come around, she'll tell you like how you were a bad influence that one Thursday at Railport.
I'm a bad influence altogether. Let's make that clear.
Well, I'm not gonna argue that, but that specific occasion is whenever that's what.
No, that was the we.
Oh yeah, 100% same week. And then as we know, found another car, put it all together, and went to TMS the same week. Yes, same week. Built an entire car. No idea how to build said car. We just know that hey, we had to do this, and we just were some mechanics, and we figured it out.
Yeah, we almost missed the feature that Friday night, remember?
That's right. It was from what I remember, it was a very big race. Like I want to say, I mean, I forget how many sprint cars there actually was, but that was like a prestige event. Like there was a lot of people there.
No, dude, there's no way.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
No.
Sir, I can't pull your leg any more than what I'm pulling it right now.
Man, now I kinda feel bad.
I mean, but we've had a couple of wild adventures. I mean, what was it? 2 years ago? We can kick it back to when we were at the speakeasy,
Yep.
and I'm sure you remember this one fairly well. But 2 years ago, New Year's, we're at the speakeasy, and we're having a couple of beverages, and
We did have a
there is
few of those.
this beautiful, majestic painting in the bathroom. Remember that? Laser tits.
Sober me doesn't remember that at all. I would like that on record. I just remember going to break the seal and telling you about, "Hey, man, I don't know if it passed the statute of limitations or they wanna come get me here in Montana. They're more than welcome, I guess." But I just remember looking at you going, "No, that's a nice painting of laser tits."
Yeah, I mean, if
Um,
you when you see a woman, with lasers shooting out of her nipples on a, 19, we'll probably say like a '80s Suzuki street bike, and got some pit vipers on, permed hair, and you're going, that is probably the most majestic thing I've probably ever seen in a bathroom before.
okay, so I found the photo, but it was a pedal bike looking like a futuristic bike. But yeah, it was like the '80s laser eyes like you would see in the old comic book days. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. And I remember we were talking about it, and I was like, "Man, I sure would like that picture." And you left, and you came back, and you were like, "I got it." We're like, we were sitting at the these super comfy couches, and we kinda look at each other like, "Got it. What is this guy even talking about?" And come around and probably about 15, 20 minutes later, this guy has this
The
cell phone.
security comes
Yeah,
over.
yeah. So I guess a security guard, I don't know what it is, but he shows
Well,
up,
what's the name of Rob first. They were
Yeah.
like, "You know this guy?" Robin looked at me, looked at the photo, go, "Nope, never seen him."
Yeah, like, perfect photo of you, and well, it's black and white, leaving the bathroom, and I can't I mean, she played that better than anyone. I mean, she has it, the guy has the phone, and have you seen this guy?" And she's stone cold, doesn't look up nothing. She's like, "No, I don't. That sure doesn't ring a bell." And then he goes to me, he's like, "Hey, you know this guy? We're missing something." And I'm looking at it, and I couldn't hold a straight face. I go and I look at you, and I look back at it, and I was like, "Man, it sure don't ring a bell." But yeah, then of course you've had a few libations, and you're like, "Let me see." And you just look at it, and you're going, "Obviously it's you." Has your face has everything in it, and you're just like, yeah, you're just like, um, "No, I haven't seen that guy, but he sure is incredibly good looking. I guess I'll let you know if I come across him." And oh my gosh. And I remember, also we're taking pictures of it,
Yeah.
take pictures of it.
Oh, I hid it outside, so I went outside and I hid it behind, like, the air conditioner or something. And then, like, I remember because Robin was ripping my ass a new one all the way down the stairs.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I
And
mean,
then she's
she
like,
just
"Where even is it?" I was like, "Look at me. I don't have it. I don't have it." And then we start walking to the car. I'm like, "I found it." All the way to Whataburger. I remember us just talking about it. And
yes. Yes. Well, see, I think yes, because she had ended up being the DD, and I remember when I woke up the next morning, I felt so bad because I was like, "I've never stolen anything in my life." Like, I have laser tits in my bed in my living room now. It's like, "What do I do?" So, I remember I felt so bad that I drove back up to their place. As soon as they opened up, I dropped it off, and I was like, "I'm sorry, my friend, uh, thought
oh,
it was
hey,
his."
you're throwing me under the bus. You're the one that
I
influenced.
was just like, "My friend thought it was his. He had a few libations, and, I'm here to bring it back to you." And they were like, "Wow, thank you so much. Would you like a beverage?" I'm like, "Nope, I am so good. I had enough the day before."
These are kids, and I feel bad for Waco. Got it.
Yes. I mean, you
Here,
shouldn't feel bad
true.
for Waco. You should feel bad for Wichita Falls, but it's okay.
Oh yeah, Wichita Falls. Well, I
I
mean,
mean,
if it wasn't for Waco, you would have never went to Wichita Falls, and you'd still have that ugly lime green race car that was bad.
oh, it was bad fast, but I'm sure I would have killed it eventually.
Yeah. I
But
mean, for how fast you were going, yeah, no doubt in
yeah,
my mind.
but for sure. But yeah, so we actually went back to that, speakeasy a few weeks ago, and the picture was missing. And we were like, "Oh my gosh, they must have finally took it down." We asked the guy, the bartender there, we're asking the guy because it's totally new crew, by the way. And so we're asking the guy, like, "Hey, what happened to the picture in the bathroom, with the laser tits?" And he's like, "That thing, apparently everybody steals it." And so he's like, "That thing gets stolen so often." The person who stole it actually they brought it back apparently like right before we got there, and they were about to put it back into the bat up for the next day. I mean, that's hilarious because at the same time, you're like, "Wow," they're like, you might have started the trend, Like, I kinda hope that there was a picture of all of us leaving the bar that night, like, "Do you know these people? They are officially banned," And then we just yeah. I would love to see that. That would've been great if social
Yep.
media heroes and we don't even know it, you know what I mean?
Dude, I mean, didn't you make copies of it though before don't let the
Yes.
world think you're just this great person. You still took copies of it.
Well, I mean, come to find out, it wasn't even like an original, like, we looked on the back of it, it had a HP. Well, they obviously copied it off of Google, and I was like, "Okay," I had, like, the HP photo copy printer thing, whatever they use for photos, and I was like, "Man, they copied this too, so let me go ahead and slide up on this real quick." Or they probably made copies because everybody steals it.
Yeah. It was in your racing trailer at one point, wasn't it?
Absolutely, and you know what? After we finish this next one, it's gonna go right back in it again. You know what? There's certain things that are meant to happen in this world, and that is definitely one of those, and
I'm
I
still
think
waiting on
it'll
my copy.
you know what? When you make it down here, I'll definitely will have, I'll have this beautiful deal of laser tits sitting right there for you so you can tell everyone the story when you go back to Montana.
The worst part is there's no way to incorporate this into the podcast part to show people laser tits.
Oh, I know it. Whenever we start doing video, I'll make sure that that does show up. whenever we bring up, when you come back down for Christmas, we'll have some more of it, and they'll hopefully, I wish that social media had, like, where we could, like, see the photo that the guy showed us, like, "Hey, have you seen this guy?" 'Cause, I mean, it was too if probably now yeah, probably now, like, if he did it now, like, "Man, can you send me that photo? Here's my phone number so I can actually upload it to the podcast," but I'm sure that fella, he's no longer but at that place, but it was a totally new
You
crew now, Like, that was 2 years
well,
ago,
the best
and
part
that
is,
was the last time we
that
even
guy
went.
went home. That guy went home to his significant other and like, "This dude just lied to my face," and showed her his photos. And I'm living my best life. And look
Absolutely.
like he's still probably he's gonna find this podcast, listen to it, and know I'm the guy. And he'll find
Eh,
me somewhere in public and his technique, and probably beat my butt about it.
I'm not gonna say he's gonna go that far, but probably when you get down and we all go back to the said speakeasy, we'll have to, heck, we might even just have to see if we can take it again. Who knows? It might just be like, national treasure, and that's just what you have to take every time you come somewhere.
See, I'll take it, but as long as you don't take it back,
Man,
I want to be the one to take it back this
you
time.
know what?
Okay, I
Probably what
sold it.
we'll
I sold the second time.
maybe what we'll do is we can make it happen, but I'll have like 'cause I can't steal. I mean, like I just can't do it. So like maybe what I could do is we can like do it, but like I'll have them a copy so they'll just be like, oh, what somebody took this out and put it over here. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Like they would have to like put it back in their frame. You know what I mean?
Such a loser thing to do.
You
Give
know,
him what?
you might. I'm just. Or I don't know. We'll see. We can figure it out. We can next time we come down here, we can definitely
Go
figure it
on
out.
with the way. We got plenty of time.
Yes, yeah, we have plenty of time to figure that out.
There's plenty of other dumb stuff we can get into.
That I'm not gonna argue that one bit. There's some yes.
Which,
But,
while we're on the discussion of dumb stuff, shout out to Marco.
yes.
Because
Yeah, he's actually gonna be here on the show next week.
he's seen us at our best and our worst,
Yes, he has.
but that shrimp po' boy always hit.
I'm not gonna argue one bit, and plus, like, the guy, he always sees you with you walk into where he's working, and the guy greets you, gives you a handshake, and the guy just looks gorgeous. I mean, so how can
He
you
is
be
so
upset with that? I mean, he doesn't have the ponytail anymore, but he's just yep, he shaved it, he done yeah, okay. I will not ruin your day, and I'll just let you see it when you get here, so you can pretend it however you want,
He's
but
got 6 months to grow it back out.
that is correct.
Marco, if you're listening, you have 6 months. You better
So so talking about dumb ideas, I guess you could say.
let's hear.
Alright, obviously, he started up the battery empire. So,
Oh yeah.
if you have, I guess you could say if you could redo it, or if you could have any words of advice for, like, someone being like, "Hey, I wanna start my own business. I wanna go do whatever." What words of advice would Seaman Leasing have on this?
And that's an easy one. Don't have business partners.
Okay.
Hands down. If you are in control of everything, it makes it easier. So owning a
Okay.
business, what I've learned and what I should have learned from my dad is don't have business partners. And obviously, I'm not going to say the full details of my life, but at the end of the day, you never know the intentions of the other person. Not everybody might be as scarier as you might be. So my biggest concern is always making sure bills are paid and payroll's done. And that might not be the intention to the other person per se. It all depends on what the person wants to do, or if they want to make it all about them and they just want to say they own a business, good for them. But don't your employees that help make the business should always be paid first. But then again, it's a catch-22 of making sure your employees are doing their job. Because sometimes those employees are just there to make a paycheck and have no intentions of growing, I guess, as far as the best way to put it. They have no intentions of trying to make the most of it or the best of it, to where they know they'll be rewarded in the end versus I'm here for a paycheck and I don't care what I do. So it's all about
Okay.
the people that you have around you, but right off the top, don't have business partners. At the end of the day, they're going to do something you don't agree with, and it's going to wreak tension all the way around. Just
But that's
start
almost
there.
like the
That
saying that
cover of the
nobody
book.
yeah, like the saying that, "Hey, if you want things done correctly, you gotta do it yourself."
Yep. Well, I mean, if you want it done and done right, and you know how to do it right, do it yourself. And at the end of the day, the hard part with that is you're going to be doing it by yourself anyway. So you might as well just not have the overhead and pay people to do it wrong for you, per se.
Okay, so obviously surround yourself with people that you feel have the same values as you do, but obviously with you owning the business, nobody's gonna want to grow and expand more than what you're gonna wanna do. So, I mean, but you still have to find someone that has a drive or someone that, "Hey, I would love to," even though, okay, I'm not said business partner, I'm working for you, we're selling all these batteries, we're doing this, yada, yada. Okay, I want to see this place go to the next level so I can go to the next level, you know?
Bingo. I mean, that's,
Okay,
money's always the goal, and I get that. But at the end of the day, the batteries are a necessity. And like you can turn it into a franchise, send somebody on their way with another franchise part of it where you supply them with everything. They go sell, they do what they're already doing. Right. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, just the mindset of people just don't have that. They just don't have, they just work their 9 to 5. And it's like somebody that used to work for you, they just want to make their money and go home. They have no intentions of growing or going above and beyond, and it makes it so fun. It really is no fun sometimes trying to explain to people, like, do I expect just the bare minimum, but I expect a little bit more, and they just can't concept that.
for sure, for sure, and I will say that not to bash the younger generation, but it does seem like the younger generation, they have the work ethic is just rock bottom, and they just seriously do not care. Like, if it ain't in front of them on a cell phone or if they ain't not doing whatever, there's this zero care, and I don't know if it's been like that forever, and everyone's always like, "Wow, this young generation, they sure do yada, yada, yada," but, man, being in, looking at everything for the past 10 years, it has changed tremendously, and it's wild how just the care and the desire for the work ethic is just gone.
Yeah, but we can always talk about that on a Grissom My Gears kind of podcast. And but that's my one advice, man, is just don't do business partnering. If you think you can do it by yourself, do it by yourself. Don't let anybody else in. And granted, you're gonna be at all these guys are, and it's just like racing as well. Everybody's gonna be there for the wins and the sweet victories and the good times, but nobody else is there but you during the bad times.
That is very true. When you're slumming it, it's times are tough. You're over there slumming it. There's not gonna literally be a single person next to you.
Nope. But whenever you're winning and you're making a bunch of money, people want to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Yeah,
When
so
you're at
business
your
is
lowest
great
of
and
lows,
everything. People
and
want you
people are
there.
like, "Yep." When you're at lowest of lows, people are like, "I don't want to be a part of that," and they just skip out per se. So,
For sure.
and then my second advice is, and this is my last one. Don't be afraid to have fun. Don't be afraid to go on a Thursday night and meet your friends at the Cola Lucas. Don't dedicate your life to the 17, 18 hours a day of work. Go do something fun. Even if the money's a little tight, you can still go to Railport, get a couple of beers for $30 at most, right? Have a good one. Go see the Cola Lucas. Go see Germany, since we've name dropped her. And everybody else at the Railport or anybody else, or go see Marco, or just go do something fun. Don't put yourself in this fantasy life that you have to work 24/7 to be successful. You really don't. You still got to live your life. Still got to have fun, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I know for some people, I mean, especially someone like you, that you can't turn work off. Like, you go and you do your, 9 to 5 or 9 to 8 or whatever hours you're working, and then all of a sudden you get done working and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm wasting all my time. I need to go back and do this, or I gotta answer all of these emails, or I gotta do all that." Because I know whenever I worked for an actual company, I would be off work and I could never turn,
It was
in my
nonstop.
brain, I can't turn work off, I'll be at work, or I would not be at work, but, somewhere having a beer or eating dinner with the family, and it's just all the thing I'm thinking about is work, or, you got your cell phone next to you, and it's always pinging, it's always going off, this worker this worker that, and it's just it gets very tiring. I will agree with 100% on that, like, you have to make time for yourself.
Yep. Especially with your house full of dogs and Robin and everything else. Like you have a pretty enjoyable life yourself outside
I'm
of
not
work.
gonna
Like
I'm not gonna argue that, right now, it's actually, pretty good, and speaking of dogs, how you have the golden retriever, how's she doing?
she is great. She just turned 5 and I wanted to cry.
Oh, man. Has it really been
So
5? I
her
mean, when you
she
picked
had
her up.
birthdays in April, but like of course as dog parents, you don't consider their birthday their actual birthday. The gotcha day.
Absolutely.
So her gotcha day was June 6th, somewhere in there, and I wanted to cry. Because then I realized she was 5.
Wow. So is she enjoying it up there in Montana in the cold?
She does. She actually loves the snow, which has
That's
been a
awesome.
huge blessing. So, obviously, right now with it being a little hot, she sheds, but when I don't September, October, we start getting cold again, and she'll be back to her normal self, and man, it makes it a lot of fun, thankfully. So, just super thankful. So she has now officially been to 22 states and 60 racetracks. And
Okay.
hopefully, end of September, we'll make it 61. So 61 new racetracks and, um, getting ready to put her on our racing shirt if we ever make any, and, um, she's pretty she's more popular than I am, I guess, is probably the best way to put it, so
Oh, well,
I'm
absolutely. I mean,
really
she's adorable.
yeah, so, but yeah, she's doing good. How are your dogs?
Oh, man, they're doing pretty good. Well, the youngest one, Henry the Husky, he had to have double, I wanna say it's cataract surgery, where they replaced the lens on his eyeballs because come to find out he was blind. And
Oh, what explains the running into a wall.
no, I mean, he wasn't quite running to the wall, but we're just like, "Man, this guy he's acting a little goofy." Like, man, we'll be playing fetch, but if I throw this thing, like, halfway across the backyard, he's not doing nothing. He just keeps staring at me, and he was real reluctant on playing with the dogs unless they're, like, right in front of his face, and we're like, "Man, something's wrong." And so we took him to the, vet, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, his eyeballs this, that, whatever," But anyways, you figure, what was it, $6,000 later, got 2 new eyelids, and being a typical husky, you would think that or I'm not say typical husky because this dog is definitely broken, but, you're like, "Hey," if somebody bought me new eyeballs, I'm gonna be appreciative, but no, he became the biggest asshole now I think I've ever seen out of any of the dogs, and he's just like full-fledged husky, I guess you could say. You call his name, no response, or you call his name, he kinda like he won't even look at you, just kinda gives you like a side eye and just kinda goes about his way, and, he has such a big personality, but I'm like, "Man, if somebody bought me some eyeballs, I'd be a little grateful for that," but nope, not him. He's just, "Whatever, dude. I'll hit
Or
you up when I need you."
yeah, well, the teenage years of having kids, I guess. So, I mean, it's catch-22 in your case.
Yeah, that's true, because he is 2 years old now, so I guess he
Oh.
had that whole
The terrible twos.
oh, man, he's something else, man. I mean, I'll say that all the personalities at the house, man, it's awesome,
Oh, yeah, we can't say the names of all of them, but
Oh,
they're,
yeah, for sure, man.
they're a lot of fun.
Yes, but I
Oh.
will say, before we get off here, man, I'll say that, you helped me out a lot last year, and you actually gave me the biggest piece of advice that I've actually held on to forever, and
Man.
I'm pretty oh, no, 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 I'm just saying that this piece of advice, Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna talk about the advice here, so, I mean, who knows, it might actually help other people, because I just like, man, I tell people this all the time, and I was like, "Hey, uh, if you don't know where you're gonna be," some people, everybody hits a crossroad and whatever, whether it's something important in life or something as simple as, "Hey, what tire am I gonna run on my right rear," And
decision that you're at a crossroads with.
Yeah, like anything. I mean, like I said, super important. Or, hey, I'm gonna go racing. Which set of tires should I put on it?
Or
And
even, where am I gonna eat lunch?
you know what? That's
It
awesome.
works for that too.
It does. And the piece of advice is if you're undecided, flip a coin. And if you don't like how it landed, well then there's your answer. I mean, that's I mean that sums it up, you know what I mean?
I live my life every day by the one coin I have sitting in my truck. Every
Right
that.
on. Right on. I mean, I'll say, and it really does work. If you okay, I don't know what I want to do, and okay, heads I want dominoes, tails I'm gonna go to Jimmy John, you flip it, lands on heads, you're like, man, I really want a sandwich. I'm like, well, there's my answer right there. That damn right. So I mean, that is actually, it very wise words to live by from C Man Leasing. You might want to get that actually copyright so no one else can use that.
No, I'm trying to get Win or Lose We Drink Booze copyrighted right now. That's
That'll
been
sell on a t-shirt.
that's the goal, is to put it on some t-shirts, but then, I mean, it doesn't matter what decision we're at in life or what point we're at in life, and especially if you're at a crossroads, if you got a chance to kinda decide on it, then you know what you wanna decide, let's go for it? And I'm very thankful for that particular decision was made, um, and I'm very thankful for where it's led, so
Absolutely, man. Hey, you know what? I think I'm right there with you, man. I don't think I could be any happier. You know what I mean?
that's right. Well, you could be happier if we were still drinking beer on Thursdays, don't forget
You
that.
know what?
Don't you
you know what?
dare throw that under the bus.
I have another show on Thursday, and it's actually going to be with Josh Decard, and I'm going to definitely have a beer and at Railport, while we're doing the podcast.
Are you gonna have our beer, though?
You know what? Hopefully he does have the triple, and if he does, we'll definitely, have the hand in the honey.
What do we call that one? The hand in the honey?
A hand in the honey, yes.
Not to throw, like, a plug out there or anything, but, like, hand in the honey.
Yes.
Try it out.
Yes. Oh
Make
yeah.
it
If he get
popularly put, stay year round.
if he had the triple, oh my gosh, it's so good.
It's still
So
good,
good.
but only one. If you drink, don't drive.
No,
If you
no.
feel the
You
need
have
to
more than one.
be responsible, please.
Yes. Absolutely.
We
Absolutely.
do
Have
not
you a DD?
condone drunk driving. I would like that on record.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. But
So,
we'll see, man. Sir, thank you very much, man, for being on this show.
well,
It was
Cole, look, it's been a pleasure.
man, it was a
I
fun
know I kind of
adventure.
went off on some tangents and we talked about the random stuff, but hopefully maybe in December we can do a video podcast and show our infamous laser tits, because my mom doesn't even know about laser tits. So I'm
Oh
hoping if she
man, yeah.
listens
So
to this,
mom definitely has to see. Mom
my
definitely has to see
sweet
Loser Tits.
lead.
Man,
I'm
Mama
a
K
dead
would
man.
Mama K's gonna definitely love seeing some laser tits. I mean, who doesn't? Like, you see that picture, like, everybody automatically smiles. You can't have a bad day and you look at that, you're like, wow, this is stupid. Like, no, you look at this and like, that's art?
That is beautiful. It's majestic.
Yes.
I've told people about it. It's like, it's majestic.
Absolutely. And if anyone disagrees, well, they also haven't flipped that coin in life of what they need to do?
That's right. The flip the coin of love. That's right.
Well,
So my advice to go out on a high note here is the one you want most, tails never pay. So
copy that.
go with that. And thank you for letting me talk here. Up, I know I'm at least an hour behind you, so I know it's some sun out. I know you guys are kind of on the downward night of the night. So we'll
Yes, sir.
call it good here, and then we'll have a part two in Christmas time. How's that?
Man, Christian,
Well,
that sounds fantastic.
and we'll just start making a list now. What really grinds our gears and give it 5 minutes pre-segment.
That'll work. Hey, that'll work. I mean, because honestly, what's grinding our gears is going to be grinding someone else's as well.
Damn straight. So we'll go with that.
Goddamn right, man.
It's been a pleasure, and thank you for having me, and thank you to your listeners for letting me come on and catch on with you. We don't get to do it very often, so
Absolutely, man. Well, Christian, thanks very much, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
sounds good, Cole. Okay, we'll see ya.